If you Google advice for workaholics, you're gonna find tips for people with jobs, not small business owners whose workload is probably 10 times higher, whose risk is 100 times greater, and who are wearing every damn hat in the company. So how about some advice for entrepreneurs who are either struggling with workaholism now or who are headed that way because it is so much harder to shut off your own business at the end of the day? First of all, I want to talk about signs, true signs of real workaholism, because there are a lot of people who talk about workaholism as something that it is not. So let's talk about what it actually is and what it's not.
I'm Tara Wagner, breakthrough coach and lifelong entrepreneur. I help other entrepreneurs use a holistic approach to business so they can create profits they can depend on without burning themselves out. If that sounds like your jam, be sure to check out my free training on how you can do the same.
So I'm going to read from this list that I compiled of signs of real workaholism. Number one, most important, is a compulsion to work, even if you don't want to or you don't enjoy it. Not being able to not work. Working long hours to the point of burnout or past the point of burnout, not knowing what to do with yourself if you're not working. This is a sign that also leads up to workaholism, by the way. An inability to turn off mentally. So you're always thinking about your business. You cannot shut it off even when you want to. Again, that's a really important point there. Not being present at home or with others. You might not realize these other things, but if other people are saying you're never with me, you're never home, you're never present, that's a really important sign to pay attention to. The inability to turn off your phone or to put it down, or when you do, you've got total freaking anxiety about it. You're thinking about it, you're worrying about it. If you see it light up across the room, you're gonna have a panic attack if you don't get to it right away. And then business is good, but nothing else is. This could mean you've got autoimmune issues, you've got family issues, you've got relationship issues, you've got all kinds of things. Everything else is falling apart, even though your business is doing well. And if you've ever had that experience of like one thing can be good, but other things can't, this is probably a sign that you need to learn how to balance more than one thing at a time. So do you understand what this is? This is a compulsion to work. Workaholism is not just loving what you do so much that you always want to do it. However, that can lead to workaholism as well as lead to serious burnout. So even if you're in that stage, we need to talk about what you can do to set up some boundaries and to prevent that from happening. Comment below and let me know based on this description. Do you think you're a true workaholic, or maybe just heading that way because you're in this honeymoon phase of your business where you're excited and you don't want to turn it off yet? So what are some things you can do to make sure that you continue to love your work and then it stops being or stops becoming an affliction? Let's talk about 7 things that you can try. Number 1 is to change the way you think about your working habits. I want you to think about your working habits as a skill that you can develop, that you can master over time, and not something that's completely beyond your control. It's really easy for us to say, well, this is just who I am, this is where I'm stuck, and therefore we do nothing to try to change it. If we don't change the way we think and realize that we can get better, we can develop this, we can increase our ability to have boundaries, we can do the things necessary to have a healthy life, we're gonna stay right where we are. We must change the way we think before we can actually change our actions and the outcomes of those things. Number 2, I want you to outline your actual priorities. I want you to sit down and look at your life and your work and say what matters most, and make an actual list numbered from 1 to whatever. I want you to visually have something that says, this is actually the most important thing, and then this is the next most important thing, and then this is the next most important thing. This was something that I learned from a therapist where he talked about it's not this is the most important and this is the least important, because all of these things are important. What is the most important? What is the next most important? And then what is the next most important after that? What you're gonna be able to do with this list is have a decision-making guide. If something comes up and you have to decide between work or family or health, you're gonna be able to say, okay, well, what's number 1 on my list? Well, it's family according to my values, not my actions, but my values. And so let me align my actions with that list. Let me actually prioritize family first here, or first in my week, and then prioritize everything else. This isn't gonna solve all your problems, but you do need to have this list so that you have a regular reminder to yourself of what those priorities actually are. It is probably not your business at the top of that list. Even if your business is super important, if you have a family, you're probably prioritizing that business so that you can provide for your family, right? But that puts your family number one. Because if you don't have a family, what's the point of having the business? What's the point of prioritizing the business to meet their needs or to take care of them, correct? So you want to know for yourself, what is actually number one? Family's number one. Business might be number 2 or 3 just to help you to support that family. Number 3, I want you to set specific boundaries, rules, and schedules based around those priorities. I want you to look at your week and I want you to say, okay, family is number 1 or health is number 1, whatever it is for you. What is the boundary that I need to create around work? In other words, what's the rules? What's the schedule? Where am I going to prioritize these things? What am I not going to allow myself to do? Where am I going to draw the line? This is where you get to look at your own situation. You get to look at some things you might be struggling with now, and you get to say, okay, before I let myself do this, I must do this. And I'm going to make myself stop working at this time at the latest, but this is the ideal time that I'm actually going to be shooting for. You're going to create some systems, some structures to put into place to help you to protect those priorities. The more that you create these, the easier it's going to get over time, not overnight. Also, I want you to set up these systems and some accountability for these boundaries to protect these boundaries in advance. So I want you to think about what needs to be set up to help me to be able to do this. Some examples of this might be alarms on your phone to let you know, okay, I've got to start winding down from work. It might be certain things that you do after work to get you out of that frame of mind and into a family-oriented frame of mind. Maybe you're going to set up app limits on your phone so that you're not going to be working late into the night. Maybe you're going to have a place that your phone goes as soon as you walk in the door so that you don't see it anymore. Maybe it's even inside a drawer so that you can't see it light up. Or maybe you're going to create something like a swear jar with your family. Every time I work past this time, I have to put $1 in the jar. Every time I check my phone, or I'm working late, or I'm distracted, or I'm not present, I have to put $1 in the jar. Something to allow yourself to have that accountability. And don't forget to just have an accountability partner, a coach, a mentor to be able to keep you to these things as well. Number 4, have a now, next, and later list. This is basically your way of saying, this is what I need to focus on now, this is a next thing, and this is a later thing. This allows you to be able to focus on fewer things in your workday so that you're not jumping around and spread too thin. The more you're jumping around and spreading yourself thin, the harder it is to turn your brain off because you don't feel like you actually got anything accomplished. But when you know, these are my big, most important things, this is what I'm working on today, this is what I'm going to get done, the fewer of those things you have, the more you get accomplished and the more you feel like you can actually shut off at the end of the day. But in order to do that, you got to know what comes now, what's a now thing and what's a later thing, so that you can start mentally practicing, this is something I need to focus on now, and this thought that's coming up at 9 o'clock at night or during dinner time or when I'm trying to go to the gym, that's a later thing. Maybe later this day, maybe later this week, maybe later this year, but that's not something I need to focus on now. Number 5, I want you to make a joy list. This is a list of things that you can do that is fun and appealing, things you actually want to do instead of work. So many of us, especially when we're in the honeymoon phase, but even after, once we've gotten to the place where we are just straight up workaholics, a big part of the reason that we can't stop is that we don't know what to do with ourselves when we do. So sit down, do some homework, write out a list of things that you could be doing instead of working, and make them things that you're actually going to enjoy. Because if you don't enjoy it, if you don't really want to be doing it, you're just gonna go back to doing work. Number 6, practice compartmentalizing. This is just learning when it is the right time to focus your thoughts on something and when it is the right time to put something aside. In fact, I think the best part of Gone with the Wind is Scarlett O'Hara saying, that's something I'll think about tomorrow.
I can't think about this now. I'll go crazy if I do. I'll think about it tomorrow.
You need to be able to say for yourself, this is not something I need to be thinking about now. This is not something I need to be worrying about now. This is not something to be working on now. This is something I can focus on later. Again, it goes back to that now, next, and later. Is this a now thing or is this a later thing? Ask yourself that question and start practicing compartmentalizing your focus and your thoughts so that you can put your attention on the things that actually need your attention right now. And then bonus tip number 7, get help. If you are already too far gone, if you are at the point where this is a compulsion and it is hurting your relationships, your body, your business, get support. This might be in the form of a coach. This might be in the form of a therapist. Do not hesitate to get support. This is not something that you're going to be able to fix on your own, right? You're already in the thick of it. You're already struggling with it. You may think there's going to be nobody out there that's going to be able to keep me accountable, that's going to be able to keep me on track or help me fix these things. This is just something I have to do myself. You're right. You're the one that's gonna get to do it. But a therapist or even a coach, if you're not too far gone, is going to know how to help you to do it. They're gonna be able to help you troubleshoot it. They're gonna be able to help you change the way you think about it. They're gonna be able to help you solve the underlying problems that are driving it. Those are the things you want help with so that you're able to do the work yourself. Yes, you're gonna be doing the work, but there are people that can help you make that work possible. Your goal is to get your head on straight, get your business sorted out, get your schedule and your boundaries sorted out so that your business doesn't turn from a cute little mogwai that you kept feeding after midnight until it turned into a gremlin and destroyed your entire life. And if you want some help to figure out how to do that, check out my Healthy Hustle Roadmap. My free class, How to Use a Holistic Approach to Create a Profitable Business Without Burning Yourself Out, will teach you the 3 mistakes small business owners are making and introduce you to the approach and the strategies that I teach to help you create reliable profits in under 40 hours a week. If that sounds like your jam, you can check out the link to the free class in the description below. Be sure to leave a fist bump in the comments if you made it to the end of this video and let me know your biggest takeaway. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful or maybe it called you out a little bit. And be sure to check out these other videos on burnout. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.